Hello, Leo. Michelle B here. I'm going to give you a reading looking at your love and your abundance messages, how to bring, better results in both of those arenas of your life. We're going to look at just like general life lessons, kind of big picture stuff. It's all intertwined. I like to start out with what to embrace and what to leave behind, considering your next 12 days, right? What to leave behind, we have the Queen of Swords, which is this like really nitpicky, perfectionist kind of energy that's saying like, I need the facts, I need the facts. What is the best way to do this? What is the perfect way to do this? How am I going to be perceived in the quality of the work that I do, right? And I feel like this is something this is a burden that's been laid on you from your childhood. Perhaps there was someone in your environment as you were growing up that was saying that someone is not respectable unless they are perfect in everything they do, and it has really held you back, and you're ready to let it go. And you know what ways it held you back in. You know how much anxiety and stress it gave you, and how it might have even paralyzed you to prevent you from doing the things that you would really like to do in life. Because like, why would you do it unless you were doing it the right way, right? And everyone knows there's not really a right way to do anything. It's just a way that is beneficial to yourself and others, or it's not beneficial to yourself and others, okay? It's not about right and wrong, and there's no perfect way to do anything. So what to embrace going forward? We got the Seven of Wands, which is an interesting card to have as what to embrace. And I'm perceiving this energy as being, instead of you struggling against your inner demons, those voices that come in when you're trying to meditate or when you're trying to go to sleep at night, I'm hearing it as being you realizing that those demons are not you, and you're embracing the fact that those sticks have no hands, right? There's no one holding those sticks that you have been fighting against all that time, and you're embracing the fact that you don't have to compete, and you don't have to struggle to earn anyone's approval except your own. And the standards that you thought that you had to live up to for so long were impossible. You knew that. You know that now, and you're embracing the fact that all that struggle that you've been through for so long, you don't have to do that anymore. I wouldn't say it was all for nothing, but I will say that you don't have to do it anymore if you don't want to. And that's a huge relief going forward. So you're like, oh, okay, I get to do things the way I want to do them now. And that feels so good. So let's go on and look at your abundance and prosperity messages. We've got, I ended up pulling 4 cards for looking at your internal landscape of what's going on in your head regarding your money, your abundance. So generally, I feel like you're looking at the picture of what you do for a living. You're looking at the amount of money that's coming in, and you're like, okay, this is good. That's why we got the 4 of Wands coming up. It's like, okay, yeah. Well, I especially had a really successful summer, so I'm pretty happy about that. And the Queen of Cups is here to say, I feel like spending a little bit more time nurturing myself. See, the first thing that we need to do when we are in scarcity mindset is we need to experience abundance in order to turn back and say, now I want to go back to doing the things that I was doing when things were scarce, but knowing that I have money in the bank feels better, right? We still want to live as though we don't have a job, but we want to know that we have our bills paid at the same time. Isn't that interesting? So we have to go full circle in order to like come to the conclusion that money isn't everything, right? So like once you struggled and struggled and struggled, and you got to the point where you had some economic stability, you're like, oh, okay, well, that's not all there was to it. I want to go back to just resting again, like I was when I didn't have a job. That's really cute. I've been through that. We have the 9 of Cups here. It's like a little bit of dissatisfaction, and the King of Wands is there also to say, I know that there is more that I can do. However, I'm being prevented from going forward by my own worry about where the money will come from. It's like you're doing work that it's cool, right? It's bringing the money, it's cool, but you know that you have more to offer. You just don't know how you can make a living doing it. Like, I need to rest and I need to make a living, and there's other stuff I want to do too. Well, let's look at what your suggestions are. And I feel like with these cards that came up that I got from the Golden Universal deck, I feel like there is a little bit of chaos happening outside of the realm of your work, like in your personal life, in your love life, in your family life. I feel like there's some chaos going on that is preventing you from, it's like a subtle stress, a subtle stressor that's preventing you from being able to think creatively about how to go forward. You're not able to fully relax because you're worried about things that are happening outside of your control, specifically, I think most specifically in your relationships and your connections. Interestingly, we had the Four of Wands, we have the Five of Wands, we have the Six of Wands, and we have the Seven of Wands are all here represented. And I see that playing out as a story of things that keep happening in your personal life over and over and over again. And it's frustrating to you because you keep trying to use your brain power to fix it and it's not being fixed. That's because it's not your job to fix it. And when you're able to release control over the happiness of other people in your life, you're so much intellectual and emotional space will be freed up for your own economic abundance that you're just going to skyrocket. Things are going to really take off. You'll be able to think much more creatively about how to monetize these ideas that you have of the things that you want to do. Because you're like, there's this thing I want to do. I just don't know how to monetize it. I don't know how to turn it into something where people can compensate me adequately. I hear you. So yeah, it's not your job to control the happiness of other people in your life. And it is not your shame, it is not your guilt, it is not your baggage if they become unhappy because you are distracted with your own stuff. I feel like these are grown-ass adults that need to be doing their own thing. They don't need you interfering with what's going on with them. As much as you want to. You're like, but it will interfere with my emotional happiness if I see them struggling. But that's part of that baggage of being taught what's right or wrong, right? You've been taught it's not right to watch the people around you suffer when you could help them. And I think it's time for you to be okay with being the bad guy for once, Leo. For once in your life, it's okay to be a bad guy. Just once. Okay? Be wrong a little bit. Okay. Like I have been embodying that more and more, my inner demons. My inner demon that's like, can't I just be a bad guy once? Can't I just be selfish once? And I'm embracing that. What would it be like if you were selfish? If you just did things for yourself? And to me, it's being a bad guy. To other people, it's being perfectly normal. Please don't mind the tippy tapping. I got a little boy that's playing a Roblox game while I'm doing these readings. He's got one more week before he starts school, and then things will be a lot quieter. But yeah, I'm sharing space with somebody else, and it's really sweet that we get to work together. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Embracing the fact, like, what would happen if I was a bad guy? Okay, so I'm selfish. Then what? Okay, then life goes on, right? So, and that was like the worst thing to me when I was a kid. It was like, you're selfish. I heard that over and over again from a particular influential adult in my life when I was a kid. You're selfish and that's bad. And now whenever I want to do something, but I'm afraid it's going to make someone else unhappy, I can hear that. You're selfish. Ooh, that's the worst thing. And now I'm like, okay, I'm selfish. Yeah, I am selfish. But actually, I'm not any more selfish than anybody else. And that's the quickest way to contentment, is accepting the fact that you are not perfect. Nobody is. And it's even selfish for you to be so selfless. So now we're going to shift over to your love messages. Now, if you're perfectly happy, Leo, in the relationship that you're in, and you can't think of any way that it could get better, then these messages are not for you, right? Why are you tuning into like love drama? You wouldn't be here. This is about the drama. This part. If you are experiencing drama, then here we go. If you are experiencing loneliness and wish that you could be in a relationship, then this is for you. And if you're perfectly happy not being in a relationship and being single, this part of the reading is not for you. Okay. So we're turning over to looking at your internal landscape when it comes to your connections with others. And I'm seeing a lot of waiting to act because you feel overwhelmed with emotional complexity. So let me show you this real quick. So like we have all these cards in the reverse. We have the Three of Cups in the reverse. That's the partying and drinking too much card, but I don't feel like that's you. And we have the Seven of Cups. I can't really decide what to do because there's just so many options. And then we have the Hangman. I've got to wait till I know more. You know enough, okay? You know exactly what to do. You know enough. You know exactly what you need to do. And it hurts, right? It hurts. And I see you burying yourself in your work to avoid having to come to any kind of conclusions about it. So I feel like the person that you are connecting with, if this resonates with you, if this part resonates, I'll say something different for those of you who are single and like don't have anyone that you're with and want to know how to attract a relationship, okay? I could just hurt my funny bone. Speaking to those of you who are in a connection where like you love this person so much, but they're making choices that is hurting them. And you're like, because they're not directly really hurting me, it's not my business to tell them, but it bugs me. It's bothering me. It's bothering me. It's bothering me. I don't like it. Now I don't know if this is like a person that you've gone through the thought process. That's why this is here. You've gone through the thought process of, is this something that is this baggage that I even need to be talking about? Is this my business? You've gone through it. It bothers you. That means it's your business. You can't make someone else change their behaviors, but you can change your environment so that you can be happier, so that you can feel safer. There's something about this connection that makes you feel unsafe, either unseen, so you don't feel protected, or they're doing something that makes you feel physically unsafe. And that is enough reason for you to not be in it. And I think that the main thing that's bothering you is that you'll be a bad guy if you do something about it. See, remember, I'm going back to that right and wrong, good and bad stuff. I'll be a bad guy if I say, I don't like what you're doing, therefore I'm going to withdraw myself from this environment. But you do have the choice. Your intuition is screaming at you about what you need to do. Screaming at you about it. And you're like, okay, I don't want to hear it. Because I'm going to break their heart. I will hurt them. I will be a bad guy. But this is the person that needs to come shining out. This queen needs to come shining out because you will explode out of your shell as soon as it happens, as soon as you tear off that Band-Aid and make the decision of what you need to do. As soon as you say, I will not be in this environment anymore. You can choose to do whatever you're going to do, but I will not be in this environment anymore. As soon as you do that, this queen comes exploding out, and she is so beautiful. She's so full of light and love, and she has so much to offer the world. But, excuse my itchy nose, she's being held back by how sad she feels in this connection. Okay? So yeah, this person that you're with, I don't know if they're going to hold it against you. I don't know if they're going to be abusive when you tell them what you need to tell them. I don't know what their reaction is going to be. All I can see is what you think their reaction is going to be. And you think that their reaction is going to be heartbreak and then possibly lashing out, or guilt trips about how you're like messing up their lives in some way because you are choosing to do your thing. I feel like you've said everything that needs to be said, though. I think you've put in your proper warnings about what your choices are going to be. You've let them know that you're not happy with what they do, but they're still continuing to do it. So you say, okay, well, this is not a fear of me being alone. This is a fear of your reaction. Okay? Accept the reaction and know that that's their choice to, it's, you don't have to carry the weight of their reaction. You don't have to do that. You can just let it go. Hold your chin up and move forward in your life. The Lovers is here to remind you that we all have freedom of choice about what we do and who we associate with. This person that we're talking about gets to choose to do what they want to do, okay? And you get to choose not to be around it. Do what you will from there. Now, for those of you who are not in a connection and want to know how to attract it, I'm sensing baggage from a previous relationship that ended in just the way that I just described. You still have that fear of committing to someone because of what happened in the past. So that is keeping you from attracting something that's, either you're attracting connections with people that are unhealthy and you're afraid of committing with that. That's a good idea. Or you just see everyone that way and you run away and you won't let yourself be vulnerable to it. So you're being encouraged to be this person, right? Because this is where you are. You already went through that. This is where you are at this point. Remember that you are a very attractive person, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, and that you only attract. This is an affirmation I would say to myself over and over and over again. I only attract really awesome people, really healthy people. Only healthy people are attracted to me, and I am only attracted to really healthy people. You'll know right away, and it will it'll be a turnoff to you. Okay, keep that attitude. Keep up the good work, getting yourself out there, following your passions, doing what lights you up, and naturally love's gonna follow, especially if you leave yourself open to the prospect of what it is that you desire in a connection. Let's look at your affirmation, closing affirmation for the next 12 days. This has been an excellent reading, Leo. I've really enjoyed it. You are in a good place. You're in a place where you can control your own destiny. You can create exactly what you want for yourself, for your future. I think it's more of a process of elimination than addition. Okay. I am whole. I am whole. I'm perfect just the way I am. You don't have to be in a relationship to be a whole person. You can release relationships that are unhealthy. You don't have to settle for someone that doesn't suit you, doesn't suit the person that you want to be. You are whole and complete in the work that you do in the world at this point. Your abundance and prosperity that you're bringing in is enough at this point. And coming to terms with all of that will bring you more. Being happy with what you have at this point will bring you more of something even better. It just happens. Watch. I dare you to watch it play out. The more content you are with the wholeness of who you are at this moment, the more abundance, the more prosperity, the more love comes in. This is where I leave off. Boom. I'll see you in 12 days, Leo. Bye.